to basically work the whole of the body, so all the way from our ankles, our calves, our hamstrings, quads, hips, spine and shoulders and chest. So we'll hold each stretch for between about 3 and 5 minutes. As always, when you're in a stretch, if you feel tingling, it's best to come out, or if it's kind of a sharp pain, it's best to come out and maybe relax on your back with your knees into your chest, or come into a pose that feels more comfortable. So there's 3 principles. So we go to our edge. It's only about, say, 50% kind of tension. We stay for time, so like 3 to 5 minutes, and then if we can go deeper after a couple of minutes, we would try and go a little bit deeper for more intense stretch. Okay, so we're going to start tonight in butterfly. So butterfly stretches our back and our inner thigh. So if you need to, grab a blanket or a cushion. So I will grab a blanket and a cushion myself. Okay, so we just need to use what props we can, so we can stay for this longer time, to linger or marinate in the juices, to bring more effectiveness to our yin practice. So I'm going to actually sit on a blanket, a rolled up blanket, and have the cushion to rest my head on as I come forward. So we start with the soles of the feet together, and first of all, if you want to, you could think a bit about engaging the muscles, and for a more intense stretch, maybe 80 or 90% intensity in the stretch, which is more yang, and bringing the feet closer in and pushing the knees down, chest forward and a flat back. But we'd only want to hold that, say, for 30 or 60 seconds, maybe like a half a yoga class. And then you choose if you want to go into the more deeper, less yang butterfly pose. You take your feet forward into a long butterfly, and allow the back to round and allow the head to drop forward, and closing the eyes maybe. So whichever you choose, more yang or yin, it's up to you, it's your practice. I'm going to hold for about 4 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes, but remember to go to just to your edge, what feels good for you. And focus on deep breathing. So it's good if you've had a busy day, you've got quite an active mind, it's good to try to focus on your breath for maybe the full 4 minutes to come into your rest and digest nervous system.
that's about halfway now. So if you want to go deeper, you could, if you were resting your head into the cushion, remove the cushion and just bring your head closer to the floor. So your target area here might be your adductors, your inner thigh, might be your hamstrings, it might be your lower back. What you don't want to feel is any sensation in the knee joint. So if the knee joint feels not good, just stretch out the legs a little bit. About another 3 breaths here. Then we bring ourselves out slowly, noticing maybe that rebound, any sensations, and stretching both legs forward. So stretching out the back of the legs after the legs have been bent, maybe shaking the legs side to side, shaking the feet side to side, or if it feels good to do a gentle back extension. So lifting the hips up if you want to, a couple of times, releasing down. Okay, so next I'm going to show you a caterpillar, which is another forward fold. So there's probably 2 or 3 different ways we can do caterpillar. So I quite like it on my back, but I'll show you which I'll do. I'll show you seated as well. So again, I'll need a blanket to sit on for the seated. Help give me a bit of a lift, and then basically we're just folding forward. So the legs can be slightly apart or the legs together, the feet are relaxed, and we're just kind of letting gravity pull us forward. So this one's quite intense, maybe on your lower back, maybe on your hamstrings. So that's one version of caterpillar. Or there's lying on our back doing caterpillar with the legs in the air, which is, I think, better for the back. But for here, probably need a blanket or a cushion underneath the back of your head, just so your chin isn't thrown back. So we want the chin coming towards the chest. So we're going to hold for, again, for 4 minutes. So this one's quite nice to do as well if you've got the wall there, or if you've got the back of a sofa. So in the yin, it doesn't matter really what we do with our feet or our hands. So if you're in the caterpillar that's seated, the hands can just be at the side, or the hands can be on your lap. Doesn't really matter. If you're doing the caterpillar on your back, you can bring your hands interlocked behind your legs, just underneath the back of the knees if you like. you can even stretch the hands above your head or make a cactus shape with your arms to get that feeling of opening your chest if you're on your back. The legs can be really straight or the legs can be slightly bent. And we might feel that tingling. If the legs are in the air and we're on our backs, we might feel that tingling in the feet. So that just means we're getting that fresh blood. And we're noticing. You can close the eyes. This is a great one to do at night time before bed, and it helps us to go within and just focus on any sensations that might be happening in the body. So that's about halfway. Change position if you need to. If the legs are in the air, maybe rotating the ankles. Maybe bringing the knees into the chest if you like. So another 3 breaths. If you're on your back, bring the knees into the chest. If you're seated, press up slowly. And then we'll lift up slowly. So we'll do the counter pose, the either stretching out both legs, bringing the hands behind, puffing the chest up towards the ceiling, or coming up into a couple of lifts up, lower down, lift up, lower down, one more, okay, and slowly lower. Okay, now coming on to all fours. So here we're going to try the toe squat for the stretch of the toes. So we're drawing our toes, the pads of the toes onto the floor, reach behind for the ball toes, even that little toe that wants to hide. So here, first of all, we start by pressing the pads of the toes into the floor. Feel the stretch in the toes, should feel good. And then we walk the hands back. If we can, stay there with the hands on the floor or bring the hands off the floor. So we're going to try and hold for 2 minutes. But again, don't want to feel pain in the ankle area. It will be quite intense, so bring the hands to the floor for a rest. Walk the hands forward a bit. Just try to keep those toes turned under. If you are sat on your heels, maybe right elbow over left. Bring the palms together for eagle arms to maybe open the shoulders, but also to take the mind off the intensity in the toes and the soles of the feet. Maybe 3 breaths in eagle arms. Then release the arms. Bring the hands back to the floor, or stay with the hands off the floor. Have a rest, forward. Walk the hands back. And then opposite way with the eagle arms. So right elbow, left elbow over right, palms together, lift the elbows up. 3 breaths again. Release, bring the hands forward again. See if we can go back again with the hands. Sit back on our heels, hands are off the floor. Couple more breaths. And then bring the hands back, up, hands forward, out. Okay, and then tops of the feet onto the floor. I think that was the longest 2 minutes ever. Okay, so we'll just stretch out the toes again. So turning our toes under, notice the rebound, notice the sensation, notice the energy in the feet. And then press into the hands as we lift up into a gentle dog. So maybe walking the puppy, walking the heels up and down. Feel the stretch in the back of the calf. Feel the stretch in the ankles again. If you want more intensity in this dog, you would keep your chest close to your thighs. Really draw the chest to the thighs for a deeper stretch in the back of the body. And slowly bring the knees back to the mat and come to seated again. So from here we're going to go into half shoelace. So extend both legs out. So first of all, we sit up as tall as we can. So I'm going to get my rolled up blanket to sit on. So sitting up tall, and then we're drawing our right foot over our left knee. So first of all, we'll be a bit young. So we'll try to straighten our left leg as much as possible, push the heel away, toes towards the face, so the left leg is engaged. Sitting up tall, just hug that right knee in towards your left shoulder if you can, with both hands, chest forward, shoulders back. So here we're getting a stretch in the outside of the right hip. So we can stay here, or we can relax a bit more, and if you can and it doesn't hurt your knee, you can bring your right foot so it's more near the left hip. Still sitting up tall, heel away, toes towards the face. So here we can go forward. So slowly forward, and we should feel a stretch now up the back of the left thigh, so the left hamstring, maybe the left calf. Okay, so try not to feel any pain in your right knee. If you feel pain in the right knee, lift up and just bring the foot, the right foot, so it's outside the left knee. So it's up to you. You can fall forward, you can bring your head or your chin to your knee, or bring a cushion on top of that right knee and rest the forehead down onto the cushion. So 3 minutes in this half shoelace. about another 6 breaths. Now pressing into our hands as we lift up slowly and stretch out the right leg. So shaking out the legs. So here we could try some windshield wipers, so feet are apart and knees are apart. We're drawing the knees down to one side, centre, knees to the opposite side. And then we'll change sides. So setting up first of all with a tall posture. So we're just maybe bringing the flesh from underneath the buttocks. We're sitting on a support to help us tilt our pelvis forward, and then drawing our left foot over our right knee. First of all, engaging the right thigh, so pushing the heel away, toes towards the face, so the right leg feels strong. We can even see if we can bring the heel off the floor of the right leg. And drawing the left knee in towards the right shoulder as much as we can. So that might be enough of a stretch in the outer left hip. And then if you want to go further and your knee feels okay, you draw the left foot so it's by the right hip. Again, we can keep sitting up tall, heel away, toes towards the face, or we can slowly come forward over the left knee for a more intense stretch in our right hamstring. Again, we can bring a cushion to rest our head on, or a couple of cushions. We'll hold for 3 minutes again. So focus on really a nice deep breath in and out. As we go into the second half of the class, we'll focus on the coherent breath, so clear breath. So maybe if you can, inhale for a count of 6 and exhale for a count of 6. So we're really slowing the breath down. We're only taking about 6 breaths per minute or 5 breaths per minute. And not just breathing into the chest, see if you can breathe into the diaphragm and into the tummy as well. breath out. And we lift out slowly. Press into the hands to lift up. Stretch out the left leg. So again, we could do windshield wipers, or can work on the hip lift, just for a back bend. So we're opening up the front of the body here. Okay, and now we're going to done some back bends, so now we're going to do not back bends, we've done some forward folds, so now we're going to do some stretching open the front of the body. So we're going to do 3 different poses to open up the front of the body. So the first one is Sphinx. So Sphinx is probably one that we could do every day for 10 minutes. It would be really good for us to do that, to mainly counter everything that we do every day, like sitting, cycling, running, even things like sit-ups or crunches. So try to come into the best Sphinx that feels most comfortable for you. So the arm position will either make it more intense or less intense. So less intense is the elbows more forward. Even if it becomes too intense, you could rest your head in your hands, and that's still a gentle back bend. This is called crocodile, resting the head in the hands. The elbows closer into the body is more intense, and then changing the position of the feet makes it more intense again by lifting our feet up. So this is mainly stretching the tummy, but also maybe stretching the thigh muscles a little bit, and mainly compressing our back, so strengthening our back. So a little bit of strengthening is kind of a little bit of stress. So all stress is good, but we have to make sure we don't stress too much. So we're stressing our vertebrae here, we're compressing our vertebrae. So it's good, we're building new cells. Still focusing on this coherent breath, long deep inhales and exhales. If it feels okay, you could go into a deeper version of Sphinx, which is seal. So that's hands coming forward with the arms straight. We can look down, we can look forward, we can even look up a little bit. Just be careful with the neck here. Bringing the hands again closer into the body will make a deeper version of seal. About 3 more deep breaths. Slowly now coming into crocodile. So make a pillow with your hands and rest your cheek on the pillow. You bring the big toes together and take the heels out slightly. Maybe wiggle the hips side to side as you release off your lower back. And then draw your right knee up towards your right elbow and look towards your right elbow and hold for 3 deep breaths. Draw the right knee down and draw the left knee up towards the left elbow, look towards the left elbow. Slowly draw the left knee down. And we'll come out slowly, so press your hands by your chest, press into the hands. We'll lift up slowly into tabletop. Or some cats and cows. So work with the breath, bringing the chest forward and the face forward, breathe in, lifting the sit bones up maybe, and then press into your hands, push the mat away, breathe out. Arch the spine up towards the ceiling, chin towards the chest. Breathe in again, lift up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then we'll come into wide knee child pose with a twist. So big toes are together and knees are as far apart as they'll go, and then bring the bottom down onto the heels. If the bottom doesn't come down onto the heels, bring a blanket onto your heels and rest your bottom on the blanket or a cushion. And see if we can take the knees a bit wider apart. Then we're stretching our hands first of all forward. Stretch the hands as far forward as they'll go and bring your right hand through as far as it'll go over to the left hand side with the palm facing up, and the right shoulder comes down to the floor and the right ear comes down to the floor. And you can either stretch the left fingertips forward, bring your left hand to your lower back, or bring your left hand on towards the top of the right thigh. So holding here for 6 deep breaths. And bringing your left hand forward, press into the left hand, lift up again, both hands on the floor, stretch the fingertips forward again. This time we're extending the left fingertips through as far as we can over to the right with the palm facing up, the left shoulder down, left ear down. So either stretching the right fingertips forward as far as they'll go, or bringing the right hand on the lower back, or the right hand so it rests on top of the left thigh. And 6 deep breaths again. Stretching the right hand forward, press into the right hand, lift up slowly, and if you've got the cushion there, remove. Again, a couple of stretches for the calves into down dog. So we're turning the toes under. First of all, feel the stretch in the toes, and then lifting the knees off the mat. Bring the chest through to the thighs as much as you can, and straighten one leg, heel down towards the floor, keep that chest near to the thighs. And then change side, chest to the thighs. Nice stretch for the calves, maybe the hamstrings. If you want a deeper stretch for the calf, you can maybe press one heel into the floor and lift the opposite leg off the floor for one-legged down dog. And both feet to the floor, both knees to the floor. Okay, so next we're going to try half saddle. So if you've got some cushions behind, so both legs are forward, first of all, and then we've got keeping the left leg out straight, bring the right foot so it's behind with the right knee bent. So maybe trying a few different positions. The main aim here is a stretch of the right thigh. Okay, so depending how it feels in the right knee, we've got to be careful with the right knee. Also be careful with your lower back. So first of all, you could just sit like that. That might be enough of a stretch. Maybe come onto the elbows. Deeper stretch in the right hip flexor, the right thigh muscle. And then if you can, you're lying down onto the blanket behind. So you might need a couple of cushions or blankets. Or if you're not going to go back, just rest with the hands pressing into the floor. Maybe puffing the chest up. Just see how it feels. Maybe come down onto the elbows for a couple of breaths. If you need to, you could stretch forward over the left leg, and then that's more of a stretch on your left hamstring or left calf. Okay, so we're going to hold for about 3 minutes and noticing the sensations. Maybe change position of the feet too. If you have any knee issues, to help protect it, you can flex the toes on the right foot, which helps to switch on the muscles or stabilise the muscles around the knee. Try not to lean too much over to your left. Try to kind of have both hips facing up. Remember, we're just going to a 50% edge, so 50% intensity, not 90. No pain in the knee joint. If you feel pain in the knee joint, you can stretch forward over the left leg. If it's still not good, you could bring into half butterfly with the foot, right foot coming more into the left thigh area. About 6 more breaths on this side. if you're in the forward fold over the left leg, lift up slowly. If you're in the half saddle, press into the elbows to lift yourself up. Drawing that right leg forward, shake out the legs. Either windshield wipers or the extended bridge. And then we'll get ready for the opposite side of saddle or half saddle. So right leg is out straight and either the left foot's into the right thigh, maybe extend that right leg out a little bit more instead of straight in front. It could be out to the side for a deeper stretch in your inner thighs, or the right leg out straight in front, left foot by the left hip, and maybe staying first of all on your hands, puffing the chest up, maybe releasing down to your elbows. Might notice a difference with this side. Maybe releasing onto your back. Doesn't matter if the bent knee lifts off the floor a bit, that's fine, as long as there's no pain in the knee. Or you could come forward over the right leg. So again, holding for about 3 minutes, noticing, breathing deeply. Remember to come out if it doesn't feel good, either in the back or the knee. Remember, you can go deeper if it's possible. Another 3 deep breaths. So coming out slowly, either if you're forward, coming to upright, if you're back, pressing into the elbows to lift up. Stretch out your left leg. Straighten the left leg. Shake the feet side to side. Wiggle the legs, shake out the legs. Do whatever feels good. Okay, so we will do the last pose, which will be Bananarasana. So we're lying down and we're going to stretch out the sides of the body. So if you take both feet over to the right hand side of your mat, here it doesn't matter whether you have your left ankle over your right or your right ankle over your left. Then we're lying down and then we're taking our shoulders over to the right hand side as well, and then stretching the arms above the head, and you can hold on to your right wrist with your left hand or your left wrist with your right hand. Main thing is to keep your left hip down. Try not to tilt over so your left hip's up. Try to keep both hips down. If you don't really feel a stretch up your left hand side, you can shuffle the shoulders a bit more over to your right. Maybe taking the feet a bit more over to the right. We're going to hold here for 2 minutes. Focus on deep breath now. Slowing the breathing down, noticing sensations. Come out of this side of Bananarasana, walking the shoulders back to the centre of the mat and the arms, then walking the legs and crossing the legs. First of all, bending the knees up and pressing the feet into the floor, maybe a couple of pelvic tilts or knees into the chest. Changing sides. So, in the centre of the mat first of all, walk the feet over to the left. Decide which you prefer, right ankle over left or left ankle over right. Then shuffling the shoulders and the head over to the left. Feel that stretch up the right hand side of the body. Stretch the arms above the head. Make sure the back of the head's resting in the floor. Breathing deeply for 2 minutes again. This time making sure the right hip isn't lifting up, the right hip is down. And 3 more breaths. And releasing out, shuffling the head and the shoulders back to the centre of your mat, and crossing the ankles, bending the legs up with the feet on the floor, a few pelvic tilts, or knees into the chest, maybe rocking side to side, so we make ourselves comfortable for final relaxation. So whichever position feels good for you. So you could have your knees bent with the knees together and the feet out, which is constructive rest, making sure the back's resting into the floor, the whole of the back isn't arched, or the legs can be out straight with the feet apart and the small toes releasing out to the side, making sure your chin is towards your chest, so maybe having a blanket to rest your head on. So just feel as though you can adjust yourself to make yourself 5 to 10% more comfortable in final relaxation. So in final relaxation we want to let everything go and not holding on to the muscles. Just breathing softly. So the rest period at the end of our practice, where the tissues we've just used, just release and let go. So we could feel now completely balanced. Taking some deep breaths. I'm going to start at 10, counting down our breaths to 1. Each time we exhale, we want to try and relax deeper and feel the body become heavier. So I will guide you with your counting. So inhale 10, exhale 10, release, let go, inhale 9, exhale 9, inhale 8, exhale 8, inhale 7, exhale 7, inhale 6, exhale 6, inhale 5, exhale 5, inhale 4, exhale 4, release, deeper, heavier, inhale 3, exhale 3, inhale 2, exhale 2, inhale 1, exhale 1. Come back to your natural breath, leave the counting behind. Bring gentle movement back to the body, or stay relaxing if you like. And if you're ready to come out of relaxation, draw the knees into the chest, taking the knees side to side. And when you're ready, roll up to seated. And thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. Feel relaxed, and see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.